Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so today we're going to have a lot of fun because we're going to have a contest.
Okay.
And then we're going to tell you about the contest, and then we're going to go into the charts here. Okay, so as many of you guys know, we did our 1,000th video already, and we've been doing this video blog sort of channel for like 14 years. Okay, now. The challenge is to go back and find the earliest video that we did wearing these clothes. Now, it may not be the same video. So you have to find Juana wearing this shirt in a video and me wearing this shirt in a video. And if anyone can find a video where we're both where I'm wearing this shirt and she's wearing that shirt, that the first one, then we'll do like a shout out for your and everything.
Okay, so are you going to tell them which videos, or this is just for your amusement only?
No, you're going to have to go back and look. Now,
Okay.
I'll give you a couple hints, first of all. If you go back, a lot of the thumbnails were in the thumbnails.
Okay.
Like we didn't make thumbnails, it was just us. So you can actually go back and find them. It's a bonus, too, if you click on the video and see what we talked about, because you might find it's an interesting thing. Okay, here's another thing that might surprise you when you get back there. You might find on many of the very early videos, it was just me. Because the show back then was called Todd Miller TV. It wasn't Talk About Houses. Talk About Houses was a radio program.
It was. It was a fun radio program. Okay, not that much fun. It was fun for us.
It was fun for us.
So it was a radio program, and it aired on the weekend. It was in the afternoon, and we had conversations. We had guests. And we talked about what was going on in real estate at the time. We had some of the guests were really cool with guys who owned home building companies and home inspectors and all kinds of really
or
interesting
developed
people.
entire master plan communities.
Yes. So it was really interesting. It was fun, but then we got busy with bank-owned homes, and we chucked that and went to work for the banks.
We had to go to work. We had to sell a bunch of houses.
Yep. So we went to work for the man.
It's hard to do a real estate radio program, which it does take a lot of time, when you have 600 listings,
Right.
Which we had for many years at any given time. We had 600 listings. Okay, so go back and find those and then put a link to the video, and it's like I said, it's a bonus. We'll do a shout out and everything on a later video. Okay, all right, here we go. So we're going to talk about 3 charts that came out. This is specifically Vegas data. You could probably interpolate this to some other markets, but this is interesting what's happening in Vegas. So you might find out this applies to your market too. Okay. Now the first chart is showing traffic. This is the amount of people going and looking at homes over the last 12 months. January and February, which are the last 2 full months that we have data from, have an increase. This is the first increase in 10 months. From 10 months ago, it was going down, and then 2 months in a row it went up. Mm-hmm. Why is that happening? Because it jumped up dramatically from December to January.
Right.
The index jumped up dramatically.
Right. So we went into spring buying season. People came out looking. And, we've said this before. In the fall, when things were looking at considerably more bleak, that by springtime, people were going to say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to get on with my life. And one of the ways that people get on with their lives is to move forward regarding their housing. Yeah,
that's another interesting thing, because people live their lives based on timing. Mm-hmm. And when they decide to buy a house, they don't undecide it. They just maybe delay it. So there's going to be a lot of people that have decided to buy a house in the last probably year. Probably a lot of people who got outbid in the past, who now might in some markets find opportunities and say, well, Vegas is down, 4 or 5% year over year average. Some neighborhoods are down way more. Some are still up. Luxury homes, it depends, right? It depends on the piece of the market and where you're buying and everything. Okay. But those people are going to come back. Mm-hmm. And this is what this is showing. Now, this is what's really interesting. Okay. Now you're probably going, but Todd, their interest rates. The interest rates are too high. They're not real. They're not going to buy houses. Okay. First of all, before an agent puts a person in the car, and because remember, these are all agent assisted showings. Okay. Mm-hmm. what does the agent do with the buyer before they just drag them around showing a bunch of houses?
Well, before they grab them by the hair.
No, before or after that.
Okay.
After they grab them by the hair.
Okay. Right. So a good agent is going to have a conversation with the buyer, going over their needs, their wants, going over their finances.
Oh, finances. So who are they going to talk to? Who do you think they're going to make the buyer talk to?
So if the buyer is purchasing cash, that buyer's agent is going to want to see proof of funds.
What about a letter?
And if that buyer is using financing, they're going to want to see a lender pre-qualification letter or pre-approval letter. And then they'll have a few moments to call the lender or email the lender and say, hey, tell me about Mr. Joe Smith and his ability to purchase the property. What do you have on him? Do you just have his word for it? Or do you have tax returns, bank statements, proof of income, and all the other good stuff? So that buyer's agent will have a much better idea who they're engaging with. And this is for a lot of reasons, right? First of all, everybody's time is valuable. So you want to make sure as an agent that the person that you're working with is qualified and able to purchase. It is qualified and able to purchase at the price point of the homes that you will be showing them. So somebody who's qualified for a home for $500,000, there's no point in going to see $1 million homes. And so those are things that have to be done. The other thing is, of course, we want to know who it is that we're going to be in a house with, so that it's a safety issue as well.
Okay, perfect. So these are legitimate buyers. Mm-hmm. These are people trying to buy. Okay, so the big thing is, but it's whatever. Okay, this is the chart. This is the magical special chart. This is February, the index over the last 6 years. Notice that 2023, the February showing index is higher than 18, 19, or 20, which were legitimately the last three normal before the housing market went a bit nuts. We have far more people with far less inventory, with far more people looking at far less homes. Juana, what does this mean? I mean, this is soup. This surprised me when I was going through the article and I saw this. I was like, I thought it would be close or less, but I didn't think it would be substantially more.
Well, so, like you said, we have lots of people who want to buy homes, and they just have not been able to buy a home because there are insufficient homes out there that fit their criteria, because we have very low inventory. So you would have, these people are just going through these homes hoping that maybe the home is better than what they saw online. They already kind of know that it's not the right home, but they're hoping because there's not a lot of inventory.
Right. Yep. No, that's exactly it.
It's kind of like me shopping online for clothes. I buy them and then I send them back.
Yeah. I talked to an agent in a market where it definitely doesn't look like homes are flying off the market. And his words to me were, the market's super hot right now. There's so many people out looking at houses. And I'm like, dude, the median price in your market's like $3.5 million. It's just a super luxury market, basically. And he's like, yeah, but it just seems like everybody's looking. And they have the lowest inventory. Like, this is a market with 11,000 houses in it. In the whole market, there's 11,000 houses. And the entire MLS has like maybe 40 houses in it.
Right.
Of 11,000 that could be purchased, there's 40 on the market. And this market had over 100 each at any given time before the pandemic. There were always 100, 120, 130 houses. I think the peak there was like 180 houses for sale, and you would think it's pretty stable, pretty normal market for a normal market. In a normal market, now this is a luxury market. These are super rich people. They don't have to sell. A lot of them are second homes, but that's just what you get, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to show this last slide here. This is very fun. We're going to have a little conversation about this because this is two interesting things. The top is the 70-year historical interest rate chart. This is what the interest rate was, the median interest rate for the year for every year. Now, as you can see, it starts in the 1950s, 53, it was 3.25, then 3, then 3.5, 3.75, went into the 4s, went into the 5s. It's 6.75 now, it's 6.75 in 1968. And you could see it went into the 7s, then the 8s, and the 9s in the 1970s. In 1979, it went to 11. Then in 80, it went to 13. Then in 81, it went to 16. And then it was still 16 in 82, right? 16%, 10% more than it is now. And then you could see it's been dropping. It went into 13s and 10s and 9s and 8s, 7s, 6s. And then it got really low and it went down to 2.65, right? People, 2.65% is not the baseline. We actually had somebody come on the video literally and say, everybody knows that interest rates have never been above 2 or 3%. And that these rates are unheard of historically. And it must have been like someone who just got out of college who doesn't know anything because they went to college and didn't learn anything, but they probably have a ton of debt, right? And hopefully, anyway, I won't say anymore because.
So here's the thing. Look at this 2.65 interest rate. And you can go back all the way back to the 1950s, and you're still not touching that. This was just a moment in time. It was just a blip. It was glorious for those of you who got it. We're so happy for you. But it hasn't been, we went all the way back to the 50s and couldn't find it again. So that's what we need you to understand is this was just a fortuitous moment in time for those who took advantage of it.
Also, pretty much every single person that bought a home after 2011 got a under 4% mortgage rate, pretty much. And then 2021, a ton of people refied like crazy. A ton of people refied. So 2022, it was 6.94. Now remember, that's the median. That's because we know it went to over 7, and then the median right now, 6.39 is what it is today. And then there's this little chart that shows you how much your monthly payment is on a 30-year fixed at the different down payments is 6.39%. Okay, so this is a conversation we want to have is about interest rates. Interest rates are not they're high for the last 15 years for sure. They're high since the housing crash. They haven't been this high. But these are not you go find any chart of home prices from 1953 to today. They go this direction, they go up. They're going up. Even when rates were growing up, they were going up. They're always going up. So this, the idea that interest rates increasing would cause, why didn't home prices crash in the 80s when you had 16% rates? Guess what they did? We had a recession and rising interest rates and inflation. All three of those things, the housing haters and crash bros would say would crash housing, and home prices went up. Right. 82 to 83 home prices went up. Mm-hmm. And it was a really bad recession. I was very happily in the armed forces at the time. I didn't have to deal with the recession. So, and you were here. I
was 82, 83. I was in middle school.
You were in middle school, so right. Yeah, I was fighting in wars. No, I wasn't fighting in wars.
You weren't fighting wars.
Not then. Okay, so here's the point. We will look at this chart in the future, and I predict that 2024, 5, and all that, we're going to be back to those 3s and 4s. Mm-hmm. That's sort of where that's a reasonable cost of money. Interest rate is just what it costs to borrow money, right?
Right. And then this historical perspective gives you a better idea of what interest rates will do going forward, because you see the variability of it, and you see that the interest rates have risen so quickly over the last year and a half that that's not sustainable either. The same way that home prices going up so quickly wasn't sustainable, the rise in interest rates is not sustainable. So just as home prices have moderated, interest rates will moderate. Now, does that mean that you should wait until interest rates go down? I don't know. My philosophy is if the right house in the right place for the right price comes along, you know what? I personally say yes, but I say yes to houses. So maybe that's just me. If you want to wait until whatever magical interest rate comes along, that's fine. Go for it. Do whatever works for you. but understand the context of interest rates and understand what they're bound to happen.
Yeah. The other thing too is, remember, you can always refi if rates go down. I'm not saying rates are going to go down. I don't know what rates are going to do. I don't know what home prices are going to do. My gut feeling tells me 24 and 5 will be there will be more inventory. There will be back to a normal market. That we will definitely look back and see that real estate and interest rates were kind of flopping around a little bit. I do not believe that housing will give up the gains. And the reason I say that is because if you buy a house in Miami, the mortgage rate, bless you, is the same as it is here. It's not like Miami has a 2% loan, but home prices are still going up in Miami. Miami's boomtown. Okay, we still have a bunch of markets. What was the other one? It's like Buffalo, New York, or Pittsburgh, or something. Was it Buffalo? Or
so
some weird markets are up.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was one, wasn't it, or something? No, not Jacksonville. It was.
There were places up and down the East Coast that were
North
really
Carolina, places like that where everything's going great, and I don't see a housing crash happening in those markets. So interest rates are just a piece of an equation. There are other pieces of an equation. So I would say don't pass up opportunity. We have definitely considered buying investment properties. There have been a couple what we felt were deals. So investment property would definitely be something that I would personally buy right now. I'm not saying you should run out and buy a house. Please don't. I don't want to see in the comments, you're irresponsible for telling people should buy a house now. I want to go back. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to go back to my videos in 2011 and 12 and 13. Because we have one for sure, where Juana actually says there's a huge opportunity in real estate right now. And we're literally sitting in Vegas where the median home price is like $135,000. Remember, it's $460 right now. And Juana is saying there's an opportunity to go buy houses right now in Las Vegas. And what was funny was we got criticized by a bunch of people for saying that because of the shadow inventory. And then there were people making videos about the shadow inventory and how home prices were going to crash. In 2013, home prices were going to crash. So, I'm not a predictor of exactly what's going to happen. We've been way more times than we've been wrong. But I think we get back to this normal 3 to 4% interest rate. And I think we get back to normal life after, the Fed and government gets its act in gear. Because right now, the Fed system, Congress, and everybody's screwing it up for everybody. They need to get their act in gear.
Yeah, I think we're going to get back to 4 and 5%. I don't think we're going to get back to 3, but okay.
No, 3 to 5%.
Okay.
No, not 3 to 5%. Like whatever these numbers here were.
I think we're
under 5.
I think we're
mid 3s, 3.5 to 5%. I think that's a reasonable cost for money.
Okay.
I don't think it's unreasonable that you have to pay 4% to borrow money to buy a house.
Well, I think
if you're buying a car, if you're buying on a credit card, you should pay more than that.
Right.
For super short term.
Right. All right. So did we leave the charts up long enough? I know that personally my favorite chart was the one with all the interest rates because there was a lot of information there and I liked looking at that. So hopefully Todd left that up for you long enough. Please give us some feedback. Did you like the charts? Was it interesting information? Are there topics that you'd like us to cover? We welcome all your comments. You don't have to agree with us. We appreciate you engaging with us.
The shirts.
The shirts. If you find the videos, there are several videos where I'm wearing this and he's wearing that.
There might be one where we're both wearing these exactly same clothes.
There might be.
Oh, remember we did the video where we found the old video and then we referenced it and then we were wearing the exact same shirts. You remember that? We went and found them. I happen to have the shirt. Okay. Most of my shirts have been like completely destroyed. I've had to throw them away. So most of the shirts you see me wearing, I don't have anymore, but I'm 100% sure I was wearing this shirt like 13 years ago.
Some of us take good care of our clothes. Anyway, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.